Okay, so to set up your drawings, we're going to do a just part drawings while I'm gone. We'll do assembly drawing together later. So right now, actually, I only have my assembly open, so it's showing up here for models, or for model view. When you do a new drawing, it's going to show up in model view. I will just close out of this and act like I'm doing it fresh. And I'm going to close out of this. All right, fresh open of SolidWorks, starting a drawing. Go ahead and B-size. I'm going to select Browse and find the first part, GVC01. We'll hit Open. And the first view that I want to place down is actually going to be my top. So top view followed by a actually, we're just going to do top view and then hit check. For the scale, down in the bottom right of the screen, you can change our scale. It's currently 1:1. I'd like to change it to 2:1. And then to manipulate drawings in SolidWorks, we can drag this box and move things around. But this is good for the size. To create another view, we use projected view, and you can do that by clicking in this dead space here and then selecting projected view, and we could project a view down here, but actually that view is not that beneficial to us. What would be better is a section view. So on the very first part that I'm showing you, I'm going to have you do a section view. It's not too bad. First, we're going to start by adding center lines and some center marks. So under the annotation tab, we need to grab a center mark for the big circle. So to do that, we'll select this edge, and now that we're doing this, I realize I went over some of this in class, but that's good. Then I want to show multiple center lines, and actually that center mark we may delete. So to do center lines, I want to throw center lines between these two lines, all the way around. This one's already here with the center mark. I'm going to add it anyway, and planning to probably get rid of that center mark and make it smaller. These center lines we want to go across the part. There's not a great way to have them be equal, so let's just run them across, showing that the centers of the arcs and slots are in line together. This does make for a little bit of a busy drawing, but it's fine. All right, and then we're going to use this center line to create a section view. So under Drawing tab, select Section View, and we're going to use the horizontal section cutting line, and we're going to put it right on the center. And then as you move, I guess I got to hit check first. And then as you move either down or up, we're going to get our section. So let's bring it down. It'll automatically generate our section view, section AA, and now we can add dimensions. So under the annotation tab, I'm just going to select dimension, smart dimension, and now we've got to put in all the dimensions that we see from the drawings that I originally gave you. So I'll add a couple, and then I'll have you add the rest on your own. So 2 dimensions for sure off the bat are this thickness, and then this thickness, the total. And then we've got this radius that happens 5 times. And then we've got the slot size, and we can just pick one of any of them. I'm not going to pick this one because it's right next to the letter A, so I'll just go from this line to this line. Should add our 2 diameters here. We need to add a circle that shows as a center line circle. So I'm going to go under drawing and sketch and create a circle from the center out to this center, and then click on the circle and set it to a construction circle, which also gives it its center lines, or turns it to a center line. Okay, now we need to dimension that. And find a good home for it. When that driven option pops up, just hit OK. There's not another great way to do that dimension than put it on a circle. In section view, we need a center line right in the middle. Click those 2 lines to do it, and then hit check. Okay, finish this part by adding the remaining dimensions that are on the original drawing. So that's going to be found right here. The ones that you do not have to include is the oh, I'm sorry. It's the other one that we don't have to include dimensions. So when you go to do the index plate, you do not have to include the 0.350 or the 0.2870. All right, so let's set up so you guys can finish the dimensions on this one on your own. So at this point, all these should be filled in for you because you did custom properties earlier. So if you hit the F key, it will fit the drawing to your screen and you can save. Leave it as the same name as the part, and then hit save. Oh, I guess I already did one. That's fine. Okay, next part. Do it the same way. Just going to open a drawing. Browse to GVC 2. And most of the rest of these drawings, you're just going to put a view that shows the circular profiles. And then whether it's a view that is like this or like this, you're going to show a secondary view to show its thickness or its changing thicknesses. Like in the example of the Geneva, it's got a few different thicknesses. Now on this part, we need to show hidden lines and center lines on this view. It's going to get extremely messy, but we don't need this view to be a section view. I suppose it could be. But either one is fine. All I need this view for is to show the thickness. So right click on this view and hit hide show. Right click on the part of the view and hit show hide and show hidden edges. And then click on the view again, and we're going to go up to center line and auto insert on selected view. It's going to add a whole bunch of center lines, and just hit check. On this one, I always go back and forth with center lines and center marks on these. So I was not really a fan of showing the center line coming out to every single hole in the part file that we had, or in these drawings. It doesn't show that you have to have a center line every hole. We definitely don't. We're just going to put the big center mark and then the center line circle. I made the other drawing messier than we needed to. If you want to go back and fix that other drawing, go ahead. Clean it up by getting rid of the extra center lines. But I'm going to jump right to center mark and use the outside circle to put one center mark. And then we're just going to sketch the other circle and change it to being for construction right away. And then I want to sketch an arc. And right now the arc is random. We'll lock the center of the arc to the center of our part, I think. I hate to do a lot of drawing, so instead we'll just use regular old dimension. So let's put another center mark on this circle. Sorry, forget about the arc. You can erase it. Just use a regular center mark on that little circle, and that one will get just a distance dimension. So we're going to dimension from circle to circle. And then we will put a diameter dimension on this circle. We have a couple more diameters to throw. Show the thickness on this view. And then I think I've got all of them. I didn't get this one. Okay. This circle gets a note. So I'm going to leave Smart Dimension. You can hit Escape as well to get out of it. But just click, I believe if we just just regular click on this dimension, highlight it. Over on the left under its properties, we can add text to this by clicking under dimension text in this window. So there's two things here. There's the model diameter and then the dimension call out. So this is just some code telling SOLIDWORKS what to pull. So if we get in front of the diameter, we're going to just type 8 holes equally spaced. And a better way to say it is going to be 8 times and we're going to put the equally spaced on the back end. You do need to put a space between the caret and E, and then the X and the caret in front of model diameter. And then you can just hit check. If you wanted to, you could also hit the Enter key here and give it 2 lines. Either one. Okay, so now that drawing is also finished. So I'm going to hit F. We're going to stick with the scale of 2:1 for these 2 larger parts. And then, let's see, we're going to save. And then I'll set up, for the remainder of this video, I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to set up the remaining drawings and scales. And then the last portion of this video in a second is just going to show each drawing with their scales, and I will expect you guys to add the dimensions. So you'll get a preview here of what they're going to look like, but you will be in charge of putting dimensions on. Okay, so I've got for number 3, this is going to be a scale of 4:1, and you're going to drop in the top view and then do a section for this view, section AA, and then you're going to add a note to get the call out of this hole to be correct. And actually, you should add a center line in here as well, and another center line. I didn't put my center lines or center marks in this drawing, so please do so. But you'll just add this note, and on the note, change the size to be 12, not 24, and then that note should just be number 10-32 UNC. Fit that however you need to. Okay, let's jump through the rest of the drawings. You guys have to add the dimensions, so make sure you add the remaining dimensions and center lines. Remember, there are no hidden lines on the section view. You won't see a hidden line in this top view. Yeah, you will. You'll see the hidden hole. Okay, the bushing scale ends up looking good at 16:1. And that actually just came in automatic, and I said that'll work. Same with the next one. It came in automatic for me. Scale ended up being 24:1 for the washer. Don't forget on all of these to add center lines and center marks and hidden lines where they're going to show. Lastly, the shaft is a scale of 2:1. And let me show you one more note that you're going to add. So this chamfer, to call out the chamfer size, there's actually under dimension, there is a chamfer dimension. So click on chamfer dimension and then click on this edge. Oh, you may have to click that edge and then also this edge. Yeah. So you click the angled edge and one of the adjacent lines. So I click this angled edge and this line here of the cylinder, and then just pull it off to an angle, and it'll add the chamfer note automatically for you. Alright, you guys have to finish by adding the rest of the dimensions on your own, and that is going to be it for the project. If you do have a day extra here, you can work on homework for another assignment, or if you're feeling like you just want to draw, the books are in the cabinet in the right of the room, or at the corner of the room, in the silver grayish cabinet underneath the 3D printer with the orange hood. You can try drawing anything out of the book, but I just recommend, take the time, do homework for another class. Sit quietly. I'm not sure that anyone's finishing. Alright, I hope you guys have a decent time with the subs, or that you did. Thank you.